Hi everyone, it's Vicky from createafashionbrand.com, fashionserviceshongkong.com, and this week I've been getting quite a lot of emails for the bootcamp because it is coming up at the end of the month, but I'm going to be doing some special videos on that, so I'm not going to cover it too much in all of these videos. I did get quite a general comment from Andrada P. I hope I've pronounced that right, Andrada. She writes a very lovely comment under one of my videos and then says, it would also be really appreciated if you could share a few key things in a short video about building your brand. Well, if you are building a brand, I'm sure you know, as well as Andrada probably knows, that building a brand is quite complicated. It can't, a 5-minute video is really difficult to do that. But I think it's probably a good idea to say what the difference is between a fashion business and a successful fashion business. If you are on my email list, you'll have already got the 6-page startup guide, and it goes through loads of different stuff. If you're not on it, get on it, because I give you additional tips every week. I write you an email and help you, and I will leave a link in the video below, in the description box. But there are things that I talk about, so like branding and getting your message across and customer profiles, things like that. And they all kind of come under what I like to call the 3 C's. Now, the 3 C's are your core values, your customer profile, and consistency. Now, I talk about customer profiles quite a lot. So in a short sentence, I'm just going to say that the more you know your customer, the more you understand what they need and what they want, the more they're going to buy from you. It's really that simple. In terms of core values, that's the bit where you sit down and you decide what your brand is about. And you usually put that on your website or in something somewhere, in your about page, telling customers who you are and what you believe in and what the promise that you are making to those customers. If they like what they're reading, they're more likely to trust and buy from you. But the most important thing, and this is where kind of branding and products and everything else kind of comes into one big topic, and that's the 3rd C, consistency. People know, it's like a 6th sense. People know when they look at your website or they go in your store, and they look at all different things, and they have an experience with you as a brand. And they'll either trust that or they won't trust that. If you want them to trust you, and it goes, even the customer profile, more trust means more sales. So if you want them to trust the consistency of your brand, you have to think about everything as a whole. So what do I mean? Well, I refer to fashion brands as a machine with lots of little cogs. If you ever visited my website, you'll see all these cogs everywhere. Because essentially all the different parts of building your brand do make up your brand in total. So if you get something wrong at one end, in the machine, the cog stops working, it affects everything else. So let me give you an example. So let's say you're doing a luxury brand and you're going through and you get to the manufacturing stage. And suddenly you realize how much it's going to cost you to produce all the clothes. And you go, oh God, I can't afford that. Okay. We're going to have to cut some costs somewhere. So you start stripping back details. Maybe you cheapen the fabric, lots of different things to save you money. Well, then the product at the other end is not a luxury product. It's now changed from being the product you started with to a completely different product. And now, because it's a cheaper product, it's not luxury, so you can't sell that to a luxury market. So you've then got to go back and change your customer profile, because you've got to work out what this second market wants, not the first market. And it changes your price, and it changes your branding, and so et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of things in your brand that have to be consistent and have to, sing out in one voice, so to speak. And it sounds quite easy, but that's the part that's really tricky. It's the consistency that is actually quite tricky in building a fashion brand, and it's the difference between a business and a successful business. I only really have one solution in terms of how you do that. Either you spend 20 years like me in the industry, kind of just learning it all and working it out, or you join our bootcamp. I don't really want to push it here because I'm going to make loads more videos on the bootcamp itself. But when we do the bootcamp, I spend a lot of time with every single person building the brand from the beginning. And the consistency is the main part of that. It's making sure that from idea to sales, every part of your business is consistent and it works well. And ultimately gives you a successful fashion brand. They are coming up really soon. If you're in the Western time zone, because we've got two, we've got Asian and Western, the Western one starts on 27th of March, so please go check out the videos for that. I will be recording more videos for it, but you can also visit the webpage if you are interested. It doesn't take a lot of time. It's going to be literally 42 hours of your life spread over 3 weeks, only in the evenings. There's no excuses. You go to work, put kids to bed, and then sit and focus on building your future. And we limit the numbers, but it's still, price-wise, it's still really accessible. I've always maintained that it has to be accessible to everybody. So please go check it out. I will leave, again, descriptions below. And there is a link, actually, at the end of this video if you want to go check it out. It'll give you all the workshops that we're doing. It'll outline why we do things in certain ways. And, of course, there are more videos on my channel. So I will leave you until next week. I'm going to do a few more topics around building brands in general. I just think it's a really interesting kind of generalized topic, but I'm going to split them down like I have done here. So we will go kind of drill into a bit more detail. But I look forward to seeing you next week. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe, because otherwise you'll miss all the updates, and make sure you get on my email list, because otherwise you'll miss all that additional information too. So all the details will be in the links below in the description, and I will see you next week.